Hello and welcome to Top Class, a review of all the happenings in the education sector for the second term of the 2018-2019 academic year. I am Alicia Ali. One of the major developments this term is Cabinet's endorsement of the ICT in Education Policy and Strategy. So stay with us as we review Term 2. A significant stride this term was the endorsement of the ICT in Education Policy and Strategy for St. Lucia 2019 to 2022 by the Cabinet of Ministers. This document will provide clear context for the Department of Education's e-education drive. This milestone was as a result of a cooperative effort of the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development and the Commonwealth of Learning. Though ICT in education began about 20 years ago, a significant policy gap existed. The new policy and strategy is designed to support both the goals of the National ICT Strategy and the broader vision of the Government of St. Lucia for using ICT as a driver of growth and development. The policy focuses on important themes like gender equality, student success, early childhood education, special needs education, TVET, open educational resources and affordable, accessible, and quality education. The strategy document addresses the requirement for adequate ICT infrastructure at schools and the need to reform the curriculum. It also advocates for access to relevant and quality digital learning content, for critical professional development training for teachers, and for effective ICT leadership at learning institutions. The timing of the policy is quite fortunate, as the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations, and Sustainable Development launched the Decade of Research and Innovation from 2019 to 2029. The theme, Unleashing Our Creativity, Crafting Our Destiny, underscores the aim of the initiative to stimulate and develop a culture of innovative scientific-driven analysis. This will offer sustainable solutions to socio-economic issues in St. Lucia, fostering apolitical and evidence-based decision-making, propelling the country to a true form of independence as it moves from outsider-based solutions to the country's development. Minister for Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development, the Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert, a champion of the effort to launch the Decade of Research, appealed to all St. Lucians to see themselves as innovators with infinite potential to contribute to the development of the people of St. Lucia. As part of the ministry's action-based thrust, a 12-week pilot computer coding workshop was a featured project this term. Born out of a partnership between the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development alongside the Caribbean Science Foundation, this pilot aimed to increase student interest in science and engineering careers.
But the big bucks is in computer science, where you're going to make life easy for lots of people by writing code that's succinct, short, powerful, using mathematical algorithms and tools to enable computers to do their job faster.
The pilot workshop, funded by the United States Embassy in Barbados, boasted of 20 diverse participants spanning gender and age categories. Participants' age ranged from 16 years old to 40 years, while 1/3 of the participants are female. Top-performing students gathered at the National Cultural Center for the 2019 National Awards of Excellence. The Division of Education hosts the annual event, which began in 2004, to recognize the outstanding performance of students in arts, sports, and academics. The ministry's vision is to create a culture of equity and equality where every learner is empowered and provided with the necessary resources and opportunities to excel optimally within their areas of interest and in keeping with their capabilities. The aim is to ensure that positive morals and attitudes, along with skills of critical thinking and digital literacy, as well as a culture of inclusion, equity, innovation, and entrepreneurship are engendered within our schools. The Republic of China, Taiwan, donated $2.5 million to help evolve St. Lucia's classrooms. The new smart classrooms will reflect the integration of information and communications technologies into the education system.
And this is what this island needs, because we all know that children is our future. Okay, and with this smart project, we do believe that we will make kids smarter, and we make a more smarter St. Lucia in the future.
The Smart Education Project was the topic that brought stakeholders from a cross-section of society together. Curriculum specialist for technology integration, Jermaine Anthony, said several factors need to align before the project can be instituted, including training teachers and school leaders, assigning human resources, sourcing software applications, and acquiring the necessary infrastructure.
Smart education is really a subset of the Smart Nation project, which was conceived by the Ministry of the Public Service in the first instance. It is also aligned with what we're trying to do in the Ministry of Education with respect to our ICT and education policy. And it really is, it's conceived as a project that would bring together the Republic of China and Taiwan with the government of St. Lucia through the Ministry of Education to deliver on some of the very important resources that are required for us to be able to integrate technology in school.
The reason is we try to presentation share our Taiwan smart education program to let our St. Lucia stakeholder they know what is we going to cooperation with you. And then we also like to hear about the local feedbacks. So after that, we will decide the better project for the St. Lucia.
The Department of Education and the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, met with the principals of infant and primary schools in St. Lucia. The meeting served to introduce the OECS Primary Grades Assessment Framework. The framework provides an outline of approaches to assessments from grades K to 6 that caters to the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that are critical for nurturing students. Selma Bisset, Curriculum Officer for Social Sciences, explained that the standards were developed by the Caribbean Examination Council, CXC, to ensure an equal assessment system across the OECS.
For long, they have been calling for some sort of standardization. A lot of teachers are not too sure about the scope, where they should end when it comes to the curriculum. So they have been very, very receptive when it comes to the standards, because it guides them as to what are the basic learning targets that students should have when they leave a grade.
The assessment framework is available to the public on the CAMDU website. The Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations, and Sustainable Development has declared its intention to suspend and eventually abolish corporal punishment in schools. The move is in keeping with the many international conventions that St. Lucia is signatory to. Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Rufina Charles, said that while the Education Act has no stated policy for the abolition of corporal punishment, it did contain structures in the Act that stipulated how corporal punishment should be administered. Charles added, however, that the department must ensure that the mandates specified in the conventions, which includes protection of children, are achieved. To aid in the implementation process, the Department of Education established a working committee. The committee is also charged with the responsibility of deciding the required initiatives and implementation dates towards the eventual abolition of corporal punishment. The initiatives will include the sensitization of the public and training for educators on island. In 2007, the department established the ChildFriendly Schools initiative with a pilot project implemented at 2 schools, with the addition of 2 more schools per district per year. Positive child development is always a priority for us here at the Department of Education. The Carmen Rennie Memorial School was one of several schools that benefited from a generous donation by anti-bullying advocate Lovely Sheridan, a St. Lucian and an alumni of the Carmen Rennie Memorial School. The Buddy Bench campaign was launched in St. Lucia by anti-bullying author and youth advocate Lovely Sheridan. St. Lucian-born Sheridan based the program on her book Be a Buddy, Not a Bully and The Buddy Ambassadors. Both target children in grades pre-K to 3, that is ages 4 to 10. The aim is to raise awareness and end bullying by promoting friendliness and inclusivity in schools. The one-of-a-kind benches are created and designed by award-winning artist Jonathan Guy Gladding. The schools who benefited from this round of buddy benches are Lazy Tongue Combined, Camille Henry Carmen Rennie Memorial, Buto Combined, Canon Laurie Anglican Infant, Groselet Primary, and Piero Combined. Almost 10 schools were beneficiaries from Hands Across the Seas project to raise literacy levels in St. Lucia. In this project cycle, the schools were given in-house libraries with completely new books catering to every skill level and competency. In addition to donating new books, Hands Across the Sea works with schools to create or rejuvenate lending libraries and partners with the schools to ensure the gains in literacy are sustained. The beneficiaries during this cycle are the Ancillary Primary School, the Fossejac Primary School, Lady Gordon Opportunity Center, the St. Aloysius R.C. Boys Primary School, the Roblo Combined School, the Laquamingo Combined School, the Diga Combined School, the Binfield Secondary School, and the Entrepot Secondary School. The National Principals Association recently held its 35th conference under the theme The 21st Century Principal, towards a solution-oriented approach. The Principals Association, known for its passionate advocacy for the advancement of the education sector, spoke openly to the Education Minister about its challenges.
I am also worried about the lack of support for principals at the school level to ensure that there is effective implementation of the initiatives. If we speak to standards for instruction, I believe that we should be articulating a revision of the school curriculum, national assessment, and teacher education as key components to the reform process. They cannot be done in isolation.
I want to place on record, my prefix to this was the evolving conversation. I have come to appreciate in this business that I must define consultation, I must define engagement, and I must always place my conversations with you in historical context to mark the genesis of the conversation and to relate it to the outcome.
Schooling tends to be still based on the old paradigms of a head teacher who manages and instructs and directs and controls, rather than a person who sees himself or herself as a leader of experts, a facilitator of other leaders, and who invests himself or herself in helping those other leaders to flourish and to bring to bear on the agenda of the school their expertise.
Young people across St. Lucia can now have access to quality eye care examinations, durable frames, and up-to-date lens technology free of charge. The court's Optical Corporate Responsibility Initiative, Brighter View, seeks to deliver comprehensive eye care to young individuals facing vulnerable circumstances. The project, which began in Trinidad in 2017, has expanded to St. Lucia and will see 250 frames being distributed to children in need whose parents may not have access to comprehensive eye care. With the help of the Department of Education, the program was able to identify students within both primary and secondary institutions faced with sight challenges requiring optical attention. According to the OECS Optical Chain Manager, the CSR initiative is expected to bring renewed hope to the selected beneficiaries. The program is expected to reach an additional 200 to 500 students across the OECS where Unicommer operates. School counselors throughout the island celebrated their profession with a week of activities to focus public attention on the unique contribution of professional school counselors in schools on the island and how students are different as a result of what school counselors do. National School Counseling Week, which runs from the 4th to the 8th of February, also highlights the tremendous impact school counselors can have in helping students achieve school success and plan for a career. Coordinator of Guidance Counseling in the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations, Joycelyn Eugene, said the special week honoring school counselors provides recognition for those who implement comprehensive school counseling programs, a vital part of the educational process for all students as they meet the challenges of the 21st century. Eugene said school counselors are actively engaged in working partnerships with parents as they encounter the challenges of raising children in today's world, for focusing on positive ways to enhance students' social, personal, education, and career development, and working with teachers and other educators to provide an educational system where students can realize their potential and set healthy, realistic, and optimistic aspirations for themselves. As part of its celebration for National School Counseling Week, school counselors in various school districts on the island held an ecumenical service to start off the celebrations. They also held a two-day school counselor conference from February 6th to the 7th at Chateau Deveau in Cap Estate. The Ministries of Agriculture and Education have joined forces with financial support from the Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, to host an exposition among secondary schools promoting the use of cassava and other root and tuber crops. The objectives of the exercise were to help students sharpen their culinary skills, encourage the use of local foods in meal preparation, and to encourage students in preparing home-cooked, nutritious meals. The expo was used to acquire market exposure in the tourism industry and local commercial sector and to encourage self-employment among the youth. This activity targeted Forms 3 and 4 students. Students were to prepare 2 or more items of cassava-based dishes, sweet and savory dishes, along with other root and tuber crops using the root itself, the flour, farine, and cassava mash. The International Organization of La Francophonie, in partnership with Alliance Française, launched the official activities for Francophonie Day 2019. International Francophonie Day, observed on the 20th of March, is an annual celebration of the French language and Francophone culture within the International Organization of La Francophonie's 77 member states. Marcia Symphorian, the Francophonie national correspondent, said the month-long observance celebrates St. Lucia's shared heritage with the French.
St. Lucia joined the rest of the world in the annual celebration of International Francophonie Day. This observance marked 38 years since St. Lucia became a member of the Francophonie, a community which has developed around a shared linguistic heritage, the French language, a language which unites the 88 member states and governments of the Francophonie community, a language which, according to the Secretary General of the Francophonie, allows us to create partnerships and friendships and synergies within our Francophonie family.
Alliance Française organized a series of linguistic and cultural events, including a circus by French Caribbean Department, a French breakfast, and a French play. Officials from the University of the Ozarks in Clarksville, Arkansas, visited St. Lucia to meet with officials at the Ministry of Education for a planning meeting on ways to strengthen the existing partnership. Provost of the University of the Ozarks, Dr. Allison Gill, and Dr. Sean Coleman, Dean of Science and Mathematics, were in St. Lucia to explore the possibilities of educational development for St. Lucians in 5 key areas: special needs education, early childhood development, environmental studies, computer coding, and media production with environmental studies. The University of the Ozarks is a private four-year educational institution that offers up to 60 degree programs. It is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, a regional institutional accreditor that serves tertiary-level educational institutions in 19 North Central United States. The Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations, in collaboration with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, hosted an official swearing-in ceremony for school security officers. The officers took an oath to serve as special police constables and to serve and protect within the school compound. About 25 officers underwent training last year and have officially been given the powers of arrest. Michelle Charles, Permanent Secretary in the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations, explained that the initiative is of great benefit to both the Ministry of Education and now the Special Police Constables.
We realize of late that our schools are being targeted, and there has been a number of thefts, and also some of our officers have been critically injured on the job. It is paramount that we provide our officers with the kind of training that would allow them to perform their jobs effectively, also to allow them to protect themselves and school property. We know that, the training today is the very first instance. This is the first cohort of school security officers that have been trained to that level. We are very proud of them, and then we are hoping to continue the training for them in order to better enhance their skills to allow them to function on the job.
The Commissioner of Police, Severin Morchery, encouraged the officers to take their duties seriously. St. Lucian school counselors, through the Division of Education, received help from an external not-for-profit agency to help inspire youth to successfully pursue their dreams in a career in aviation. Neil Justin, an airline pilot, and the Live to Soar Corporation facilitated symposiums in the north and south of the island under the theme Soaring Through Turbulence. The initiative, which garnered support from the St. Lucia Hotel and Tourism Association and the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, was held at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School and the View Fort Comprehensive Secondary School. The program supports the school counselors' mandate regarding career preparation, as well as their vision to provide equitable opportunities for students to become productive citizens and lifelong learners. A total of 10 presenters from local, regional, and international agencies, both within and outside of the aviation industry, provided valuable information to students at the event. Here are some highlights from this year's National Science Fair. That's how we end our program, Top Class. Thank you for staying with us as we reviewed all the happenings for the academic year 2018-2019. On behalf of the entire production team here at the Communications Unit in the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations, and Sustainable Development, I am Alicia Ali. Until next time, class dismissed.